The Earth trembled as the first Ancient One's ship descended into the atmosphere, its massive hull glowing with an ominous golden light. Cities across the globe were plunged into chaos as the skies darkened under their looming presence. From their vessels, streams of energy beams rained down, disintegrating anything in their path. The Resistance scrambled to respond. At their underground base, Commander Reynolds stood before his team, his voice steady but grave. They've started their attack. We can't stop them outright, but we can slow them down. This is the moment we've been preparing for. Everyone knows their role. Do not falter. Humanity is counting on us. Markov quickly brought up a map of the Obelisk network on the holographic display. The Ancient Ones are targeting areas with active obelisks first. They're consolidating their control. We need to draw their attention away from the Pacific, or the Central Obelisk mission is doomed. Private Lila loaded her rifle. So, we're the distraction?
Fine.
Let's make it a good one. The team split into two groups, one heading to intercept the Ancient One's ground forces, and another preparing to dive deep into the Pacific to reach the Central Obelisk. Each knew their chances of survival were slim. In the war-torn streets of New York, the Resistance fighters took up positions, armed with every weapon they had scavenged, built, or stolen from the Arcturians. Above them, an Ancient One's ship hovered, its presence suffocating. Reynolds gave the signal.
Now.
A barrage of missiles launched from hidden rooftops, striking the ship's energy shields. The explosions rippled across its surface, but the vessel remained intact. From its hull, alien drones swarmed out, descending like a tidal wave. Lila yelled over the chaos. They're adapting to our attacks. Keep moving. Resistance soldiers engaged the drones, using Arcturian tech to hold them off. The battle was brutal, and the streets were littered with debris and casualties. Despite their losses, the Resistance held their ground, buying precious time for the mission below the ocean. Far from the chaos on land, Rhea and Dr. Markov piloted the prototype, submersible through the murky waters of the Pacific. The obelisk's energy barrier shimmered in the distance, its intensity growing with every passing moment. Markov monitored the readings on her console. The energy levels are off the charts. If the barrier gets any stronger, we won't be able to pass through. Rhea gripped the controls tightly.
We don't have a choice.
Hold on. The submersible powered forward, its shield struggling against the energy waves. The vessel groaned under the pressure, alarms blaring as the obelisk's barrier loomed closer. Just as it seemed the submersible would be torn apart, they breached the barrier. Ahead of them, the central obelisk towered like a beacon, its surface covered in glowing runes that pulsed with ancient power. Markov stared in awe. We're here. Now, let's find a way to shut this thing down. The submersible docked at the base of the obelisk, and the two stepped out into the unknown. The structure seemed alive, its energy resonating in their very bones. As Rhea and Markov approached the obelisk, a holographic figure emerged, its form humanoid but distinctly alien. Its voice was deep and resonant, echoing in their minds. You who seek to interfere with the balance, you tread on dangerous ground. Markov stepped forward, her voice steady. We're not here to destroy the balance. We're here to save our world. If the Ancient Ones reach Earth, billions will die. The figure's glowing eyes seemed to pierce through her. The balance is not yours to dictate. The Ancient Ones come not to destroy, but to reset. Your species has brought ruin upon itself. Rhea clenched her fists. If you think we're just going to sit back and let them wipe us out, you're wrong. Tell us how to stop them, or we'll figure out ourselves. The hologram flickered, its tone unyielding. To disrupt the obelisk network is to risk annihilation. But if you are determined, the central obelisk's core must be deactivated. Doing so will sever the network, but the resulting energy release will be catastrophic. Markov exchanged a glance with Rhea. We destroy half the planet in the process. The figure's final words echoed ominously. The choice is yours. Balance always comes at a price. The hologram vanished, leaving the two women alone with their impossible decision. Back at the Resistance base, Reynolds and his team were barely holding the line. The Ancient One's drones were relentless. their attacks overwhelming even the Arcturian technology. Reynolds barked orders into his comms. Rhea, Markov, we're running out of time. Whatever you're doing down there, do it fast. In the depths of the ocean, Rhea and Markov stood before the obelisk's core, its pulsing energy filling the chamber with an almost deafening hum. Markov's hands hovered over the console. If I deactivate it, the energy release will destroy everything within a 1,000-mile radius, including us. Rhea nodded. Then we'd better make it count. If we don't do this, there won't be a planet left to save. As Markov worked, the obelisk's energy began to destabilize. Above the ocean, the Ancient One's ships reacted immediately, their movements becoming frantic. They knew what was happening. With the obelisk core destabilizing, the entire network began to collapse. Across the globe, obelisks dimmed, their energy signatures fading. The Ancient One's ships faltered, their attacks ceasing as they redirected their focus to the Pacific. Reynolds watched the skies, a faint glimmer of hope in his eyes. They're pulling back. Whatever Rhea and Markov are doing, it's working, but the victory was bittersweet. In the Pacific, the central obelisk began to implode, its energy spiraling out of control. Rhea turned to Markov, a wry smile on her face. Looks like this is it. At least we gave them a fighting chance. Markov nodded, her voice steady. It's been an honor. As the obelisk's energy reached its peak, a blinding light engulfed the chamber. The resistance team on the surface watched in awe as a massive explosion lit up the horizon, sending shockwaves across the ocean. The Ancient One's ships froze midair, their connection to the obelisk severed. One by one, they began to retreat, vanishing into the void from which they came. The world was scarred, but alive. The central obelisk was gone, its destruction leaving a massive crater in the Pacific. The Ancient Ones had been repelled, for now. At the resistance base, Reynolds addressed his weary team. We've won this battle, but the war is far from over. The Ancient Ones will return, and when they do, we'll be ready. Humanity owes its survival to those who sacrificed everything. We fight on for them. The team stood in silence, their hearts heavy but resolute. The fight for Earth was far from over, but today, they had given humanity a second chance.